Every so often there comes a movie that will not only challenge the formulaic way we tend to view a specific genre, but that will actually change the way audiences see the genre forever. Batman Begins is one of those movies. Before Batman Begins came out in 2005, there were plenty of superhero movies and a plethora of incarnations of Batman. But many of these incarnations were campy, silly, over the top. Some of these didn't even focus on Batman. They focused more on celebrities and what was going on with the villains.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
Christopher Nolan brought new life to the character by making a Batman movie that would actually be about Batman. I felt that we had never before seen the specialness and otherworldly nature of the character against an ordinary world, Nolan said. In short, nothing in this movie is meant to outshine what a great character Batman is. This whole movie serves to show us why Batman is such an extraordinary character and how he came to be this way. Christian Bale plays Batman in this movie, and I think he does a great job portraying both the Bruce Wayne and the Batman identity. I like the way Wayne purposely tries to portray a character in both of his personas. An arrogant, rich snob, and an intimidating, commanding crime fighter.
I'm buying this hotel and setting some new rules about the pool area.
Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
I know he gets a lot of criticism for the way he performs Batman's voice.
What's this?
Leverage.
For what?
To get things moving.
Who are you?
Someone like you. Someone who'll rattle the cages.
But it is a bit underplayed in this movie, and it never really bothers me, even in the sequels. So Bruce Wayne is kind of a lost soul. He wants to stop evil and injustice, but has no idea how to do it. The beginning of this movie starts him out in a foreign prison getting into a fight with convicts.
You are in hell, little man. And I am the devil.
You're not the devil. You're practice.
The gritty fighting style here immediately separates the film from, So he meets Liam Neeson up in the mountains and trains to be a crime fighter with a secret society called the League of Shadows. These scenes of training are some of the best scenes in the movie, and we really get to dig deep into the ideas that make Batman, Batman.
What are you seeking?
I seek the means to fight injustice, to turn fear against those who prey on the fearful.
The two seem to be developing a bond until they disagree about whether good can triumph over evil without killing.
I'm no executioner. I will go back to Gotham and I will fight men like this, but I will not become an executioner.
Although, it is a bit confusing, because after he finishes that speech, he then commits actions that lead to the deaths of many people, including the guy he was trying to save. But the movie doesn't ever come back to that. So then Wayne meets up with Alfred and tells him that he wants to become Batman now.
People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, from flesh and blood, I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible.
I really don't understand why it took so long for a movie to comprehensively show us the origin of Batman. We get to learn about his childhood, his philosophy, and we even get to have a lot of fun as we see how each of his signature gadgets is gradually obtained.
Throttle up, this will boost you into a rampless jump.
So what do you think?
Does it come in black?
Alfred is also a much more fleshed out character in this film. He's actually a father figure who, at times, provides him with a much needed sense of reason.
When you told me your grand plan for saving Gotham, The only thing that stopped me from calling the men in white coats was when you said that it wasn't about thrill-seeking. But what you're doing has to be beyond that. It can't be personal, or you're just vigilante.
We need to send these people away now.
Those are Bruce Wayne's guests out there, sir. You have a name to maintain.
I don't care about my name.
It's not just your name, sir. It's your father's name. And it's all that's left of him.
Apparently, the actor who played Alfred in the previous films actually attempted to give Michael Caine advice on how to play the character, and Michael Caine politely listened to him. That was nice of him. I can get maybe kids not liking this Batman movie as much, just because it does take a long time to get to many of the action parts. But for most adults whose brains are fully developed, I just can't see not liking this film. Even if you're like me and you crave something a bit more fantastical in your Batman movies, there's still a man in a scarecrow costume who rides around the city on a horse. What's not to like about that?
Would you like to see my mask? I use it in my experiments.
I really like the use of more practically based criminals throughout the movie. There's organized crime, there's drug dealers, there's crooked cops. Sure, one of the villains happens to like wearing a scarecrow mask, but the way it's explained is actually pretty believable once you've learned what kind of person his character is. It doesn't hurt the realistic tone of the movie at all, and all of this is just so much better than, I like Scarecrow. I suppose Rachel Dawes is kind of a confusing character, and she is sort of the exception to everything else I have to say about this movie. Unlike the other characters, she doesn't immediately stand out as having any sort of purpose in the movie. She kind of comes off as a generic love interest, and in this movie, it just doesn't fit. I'm just not a fan of every movie needing to have a love story in it. In Spider-Man, it was necessary. Here, it's not.
Look beyond your own pain, Bruce. This city is rotting. They talk about the Depression as if it's history, and it's not. Things are worse than ever down here. Falcone floods our streets with crime and drugs, preying on the desperate.
After doing some research, I discovered that what the filmmakers intended for her was for her to be a contrast to Bruce Wayne's character. Someone who has the same goals as Bruce, but decides instead to go through the proper legal channels to achieve them. Honestly, it doesn't really come off super well, and this is a lot better represented by Harvey Dent in the next movie. Again, I'm just not a big supporter of the notion that every protagonist needs a love interest. And in a movie where all the characters are already philosophers, I think that Rachel was just one too many. The other characters though, Gordon, Fox, they're all good characters.
But don't think of me as an idiot. Fair enough.
So Batman discovers that Liam Neeson is still alive, and he's mad. In actuality, he was the head of the League of Shadows all along, and it was his plan to destroy Gotham City from the beginning. So the two of them fight on a train, and using some logic I don't quite understand.
You finally learn to do what is necessary. I won't kill you. But I don't have to save you.
Batman is victorious, and the city is saved. I know I've openly spoken against the concept of rebooting franchises in the James Bond conclusion, but this movie is a rare example of a series that needed a fresh take in order to finally be done right. This movie does have its share of flaws. The scene where Batman summons an army of bats is really stupid, and it also has Rachel. But I'm still sticking to my guns when I say that this is an excellent movie. Despite everything in it that comes off as silly or illogical, it's still the best on-screen representation of Batman and all the complexities that he embodies. It doesn't talk down or pander to the audience. It simply gives us the Batman movie we've been wanting to see since the beginning. And rare still, this trend of quality is something that will continue into the next films.
I'll look into it.
I never said thank you.